Hello everyone, welcome back to Excel ERP. Today we'll see how we can populate a list box and with the column we selected on the sheet, and it can be a continuous column selection or it can be a non-continuous column selection, and only those columns will be added to the list box view. Let's say if I selected the 10 columns, this is our data, or the 15 rows and 10 columns, and if I populate the list box, so I get all the cell values from column A to J and from row 2 to 15. So this is what I get, J15 up to J15. So if I select the non-continuous column, I selected 3 columns, A, C and E, and if I populate it and I refresh it, I get 3 columns here, A, column 1, column 3 and column 5. This is what we selected. Also, I can select the entire range while the list box is already visible, populated, and I get all the data selected, all the data populated here in the list box. Now, if I select only column 1, the column A, the value of cells in column A gets into the list box. Now, I want to select column 3 and 4, so I select column 3 and 4. I get 3 columns in the list box. Now, I want to select column 6, 7, and 8. I get 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and now I want 10. So I get all these in the list box. Whatever column I selected on the sheet, those columns are added in the list box view. All the columns. So let's see how we are getting this done. I think it's quite a handy tool if I want to transfer some data from the main sheet, or let's say I just want to send the user ID and the balance payment or the due payment or the phone number. So I don't need to hide the columns and then print it and then unhide the column and save the file again. So I can simply click whatever column I need and I can send this list box data to some other sheet, or I can print it. There are many ways. Once you get the data in the proper way, tabularized way, then many things are possible instead of hiding those and adjusting widths and all that stuff. So let's see how we are getting this. We'll quickly go through the code. Okay, so there is a little bit of code on the sheet 1 selection change. So this is on sheet event worksheet underscore selection change. What it means is whenever I select anything, that it triggers the code whatever is written here. If I put a breakpoint and I select anything here, so this is triggered and this macro ran. So this is on sheet selection change event. This is the macro get selected columns. We'll go through the macro here. And then in the user form, we have only one command button and the user form initialization, and the code running is populate list box. That's the only thing. On the user form, there is one list box and one command button. That's it. Okay, let's go through the code first now. Get selected columns. Now we declare some variables, R as range, C as range, and LR as long. Now sheet 2 dot range A2 to A999 dot clear contents. This is sheet 2, and we clear these values from A2 to A999. So this is the code. Get selected columns. We declare some variables, R as range, C as range, and LR as long. Last two as long. Now sheet 2 range this, we clear the contents, and then we run a loop for each range in this selection dot columns. This will happen on sheet 1. So then we find what is the last row on the sheet 2 in column A. So sheet 2 dot range A999 dot end xlf dot row plus 1. We add 1 to get to the new row, blank row. Then set a R, the range we declare R, as intersect between the selection and the C, the range within the selection. Okay, so we'll check. Now range is the intersection of the selection and the C and the cell in the selection. So if the address of our range is equal to the address of the entire column, then what it means is when we select anything, see now I am selecting a cell, the address of cell is C5. I select this, address of cell is C3. Now if I select the column, no matter wherever I clicked or whatever I selected, if I select the column, the address of column is D1. So this is what we are checking here. If the range address is equal to the address of entire column, then we need to do something. Then sheet2.range A and LR will get to the next blank cell dot value. What should be the value? This should be the value. This basically what this function does is it extract the D from the address. That's the only thing this function is doing. Okay, so this code will run for all the selection happens. I selected 4 columns. Now this code will give me A, B, C and D. This code will run for all the selection wherever the column address is equal to the first cell address. So this confirms that we selected the column, not just the some cell in the column. So if I select E, G, I and J, I should get E, G, I and J, and this is what I am getting. So this is what this function is doing. It is extracting the, wherever the condition is met, it is extracting the letter from the address. So that's the only thing. That's a little loop we are running on the selection of the column. So if the user form 1, this is the user form where list box is visible, then populate the list box whenever the selection happens. This is what was happening when I selected this. I populated it, the list box, and now if I select one more column, the adder 2 is also added. If I select H4 is also added. So this is what was this code was doing. If it is visible, populate list box means refreshing the list box. That's what it is. So next code is next macro is how we are populating the list box and how we are getting the headers there. So we declare some variables, LR same as long, last row, then column count as long, LR data as long, last row of the data, and then column letter as the string, then loop columns, how many loop columns we have and how many rows we have. Okay. So LR is the same thing. We find the last row filled in the sheet 2 where the column letters are added. And then if the LR is less than 2, which means is no column has been added. And then we go to the no data. No data is simply a message box, either no column selected or no data available. Please check. So that's what it is doing, and clearing the, if the user form is visible, it will clear off the user form, this list box. Okay. So next we check LR data. So this is the LR we checked, last row we checked whether some letters are there or not. If no letter is there, it means we don't have anything to populate in the list box. So it will give us the message box. We don't have anything to be populated. Next thing we are checking is LR data, which means is we are checking the last row on the sheet 1 from where the data actually to be populated. So this one tells us which column, and this one tells us how many rows. Columns and how many rows. Okay. Same thing, if it is less than 2, then we'll go to no data. Nothing to be populated. Now we'll come with the user form listbox 1. So this is the user form named as UF1, and this is the list box named as LB1. Okay, first we clear the list box. Any previous result shown on the list box, we clear it off. Then we get the column count. Now how we are getting the column count? From this we are getting the column count. If there are some letters in the sheet 2, then column count would be LR minus 1. Why? What it is? From here we check how many cells are filled up in column A. Let's say if 7 cells are filled up. Let's say I select this. Okay. So these many cells are filled up. I mean, these cells got some values. So LR will return 6. Whereas the actual columns listed is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So that's why we are subtracting 1 from the LR. LR will return 6, but the column count is 5 only. The first one is the header. We can also need not to put anything. It is just to show you how the calculation happens here. Okay, next thing, column count is this column count. Column heads equal to false. We don't need the column headers. Now column width is, I put it on a dynamic kind of mode, like whatever is the width of the list box divided by the column count. So each column will get the equal width. If I select, let's say if I select only 2 column and populate the list box and refresh it. So these 2 column only selected. If I select, let's say 7 columns, so each column will get the equal width. That's what this one line does. Width means width of the list box divided by the column count. How we are getting column count? From there. Okay, here is the loop, setting up the loop for adding the items in the list box. Now loop row. The loop row is the rows on the data sheet. This is the data sheet. These are the rows to be looped and data to be picked up. Okay. Loop row from 0 to LR data minus 2. Now LR data is the last row on sheet 1. Now why we are putting it to 0 and then subtracting 2? The list box property have the property of to add item to the list box. The index starts with the 0. So I'm keeping as an index value loop row from index value 0 to how many rows we have? We have 15 rows. 15 rows. Now since I started with 0, 0 is also loop, will be counted in the loop, and then 1 will also be counted in the loop. I don't need these two when I want the data from the sheet. 1 is the header and 0 is no row on the sheet. That's why I'm subtracting 2. 1 will subtract this 0. The minus 1 will nullify the 0, and another minus 1 will subtract the header column. So loop row from 0 to LR minus 2. Then dot add item. This is the property of the list box. Then for adding item, we loop which column to pick up, and then how we are getting the value here. Now for loop column, again we are setting from the 0 because it is also the index property of the list box add item, to column count minus 1. Here I am subtracting only 1. Because in the column count I already subtracted 1 here. So column count is actual count, and because it is starting from 0, that's why I just need to nullify the 0 effect here. Okay. Now within this loop, column will be the string we are assigned column. What will be the column? The letter within the each cell. So if I select this, so letter within this cells will become the column string. Sheet 2 range A and loop column plus 2. Loop column is starting with 0, so I am adding 2. What it means is, it simply means column count starting with 2. Dot value, whatever is the value in that cell will be assigned to the column string. Next is, now we add the list to the list box. So for the first list to be added to the list box, the dot list loop row, which is 0, loop column, which is also 0, equal to sheet 1 dot range column. This is the letter. What is the letter? Now A is the letter, and loop row plus 2. 0 plus 2 means 2. So column A and 2. Column A and 2. Similarly, when we loop for the second loop column, then we'll add B 2 up till 15. So this one line, add all the item to the list box, looping within these 2 for loops. So within the row loop, we are initiating another loop for the column, and then we are adding those items to the list box. So this is the only code which is getting all the selected column item within the list box. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5 be selected. Okay, now so this much part is clear. This is to populate the data in the list box. Now to get the headers, I put a code to dynamically create the header whenever list box is being refreshed or populated. So there is no there are no label headers here. These header will be populated whenever the list box is populated. So dim I as long, on error resume next. on error go to 0. So within this, what we are doing is, for I equal to 1 to 100, I just took the high number, and what I am doing is, if there is any label created earlier, still remove those labels. So why I wrapped it in the if error on error statement is, if this line does not find the label with the name of this, or any user form control with the name of HDR underscore 1 2 3 4 5 till when. So this will give me an error. To prevent that stopping of code, I wrap this within the if on error resume next and on error go to 0. So even if there is no label with this name, this is the name of the control. So it will not give me error and it will pass through to the next line. So on after coming here, the code will run on the in the normal fashion, where if error occurs, it will pop up with the error. Now with the header label, okay, we missed it. Dimension header label as msforms.label. Now for I equal to column count. See what we defined column count here. So these many columns are there in the list box, and we need the same number of headers for each column. Header label as msforms.labels. We declare this, and then for I equal to 1 to column count. Column is sheet2.range a and I plus 1 dot value. I'm again getting the column string value with reference to the I. Set header label equal to userform1 dot controls dot add. So this is the syntax to add the userform control during the runtime. Runtime means the userform is already shown on the screen, and we want to create some new controls. So with header label, we'll add the caption sheet1 dot range column name column letter and 1, whatever is the whatever is there, column letter, and in the row 1, column letter and row 1 dot value. Then I put a font to bold, and height of the label is 12. The top, the location of the control top will be userform1 dot label listbox 1 dot top, whatever is the top value of the list box, minus the height of the header label. What is the height? 12 is the height. So just above the list box, we'll get this label. Width, whatever width we are defining here, I made the same width of the label. Userform1 dot listbox 1 dot width divided by column count. This column count. Now the left property of the first label I can reference. It will be on the top of the list box, and on the left of the left position will be equal to the whatever the left position of the list box. Now how to get the left position of this? If dot name is header underscore 1. See, we are looping in the for loop for I equal to 1. Whenever the first control is created, first label is created, the name will be header underscore 1. After placing this label, now I am checking the name of the header, name of the control. If the name of the control is header 1, header underscore 1, HDR underscore 1, then dot left should be userform1 dot listbox 1 dot left. Otherwise, dot left should be userform1 dot controls HDR underscore I minus 1. So if I is equal to 1, this will not run. This condition will be true. When I is other than 1, which is more than 1, then this condition will be false and this code will run. So the left of the second label created will be the left of the first label created plus the width of the first label created. That's how we are getting second header 2 label here. The left of the first label created plus the width of the label created, which is equal to the width of the column. So this is how we are managing the headers on the list, on top of the list box. So this is the loop we are running, and we are getting the headers. This we already covered, and okay, yes, we are populating the user form as a modeless so that we can select the column on screen. If it is not modeless, here if I can, the user form is also shown, and I can select the column also. I can select the columns also. But if I remove this modeless, or if I show model here, it is by default it is true. If it is false, it was the same effect. I can select the columns here. But if it is false, where it is, show model, if it is true, then once the user form is populated, I cannot select or maybe modeless show model equal to true. Okay. So now this user form is populated as model form. I cannot select on the sheet. So that's why to have this function, I mean, this is up to you how you want to populate the list box. And first you can make it like select and select, and then just click the list box. It will give you the selected columns data. So that's it, guys. This is the thing I wanted to share with you, how we can add the non-continuous range column to the list box. Thank you so much. Take care.